welcome to Season 4, Episode of the May Contain Action Podcast, your new favorite show discussing movies and the roles they play in our lives. Like I said, this is Episode 2 of the 4th season, which means we've been doing this for a long time. Trevor, I'm not sure why you're laughing.
I just saw it. Never mind. I'll tell you in a second.
Gosh, ruining every intro. Trevor, ruin intros, May. I'm joined as always by my co-host, the very same aspiring film bro, Trevor, former pitcher, May.
It's me. Hello.
Still a current. I mean, like, you don't ever stop pitching.
No, you do.
Okay.
I never want to throw a baseball ever again. No, I'm just kidding. I will. I will for probably YouTube at some point, but
yeah, for the kids or something.
Yeah.
As well as our other very special guest, the former NFL fullback and present player of Dungeons and Dragons. None other than Johnny Stanton is joining us, baby.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Welcome, Johnny.
Fullback is definitely something I don't think I'm probably ever going to do again.
You do it today.
Like you can always be a fullback, but actively doing fullback or actively pitching, maybe it's something that we're done with.
Yeah. Well, it'll be on our name, next to our name forever, but
exactly.
Don't ask me to do it right now.
D&D is for life.
Yeah, D&D is for life. For sure. I can't wait to continue getting more into it to where it overtakes everything. Someday.
Oh, that'd be great.
I was doing research for the show, Johnny, and are you Johnny Stanton the fourth?
That is correct.
So it's fully, but it's like all of you are Johnny?
Yeah, no, it's 4
Really?
in a row, John Richard Stantons. And what I learned is that it's some fun thing that I like to talk about on podcasts is when the difference between a junior and the second is that it doesn't have to happen in a row if it's the second. So if it's like 3 generations down the line, if you name it after your great grandfather, it can be the second.
I did not know that.
If it's directly next, it's junior. But after that, there's no like word for the 3rd in a row, so it just becomes the 3rd and the 4th, and that's when you get into Pope rules, where you can go 100 years down the line, you can become the 16th.
Yes,
like
even like kings and stuff in England and whatnot.
Yeah. Well, they had all the Louis, but the Louis weren't all consecutive. They were some other ones interspersed, but they kept going back to Louis, and then he just kept it going.
Yeah, that's right.
That's crazy, Johnny. And did everyone go by Johnny?
So that's the thing is all of them went by Johnny until a certain point, and I think I've passed that like threshold at this point. So I think I'm just carrying on Johnny. I'm not John. I'm John to like a handful of people, but I'm going to be continuing to be Johnny until the day I die. So if we do end up having the 5th, we got to figure out, okay, what's the 5th going to be called by? So Johnny 5 is there. Who knows?
Johnny 5. That's sick. By the
Johnny
way.
5 is
Johnny
kind
5
of dope,
sick.
actually.
I've always wondered, honestly, too, when do Johnnies go by John? I had a bunch of friends named Tommy. There's like 15 Tommies, and they all just are like, I'm going Tommy forever. But like, when do you go to Tom? But they're like, some of them are Thomases. One's a Tommaso. They're like, no, I don't want Tommaso. I'm being Tommy forever.
Yeah,
no
I don't
one
know
wants
if
to be named
that's
Tom. I was like,
is that a millennial thing, or is that just like us
trying
to hold on to our childhood for as long as possible? I don't know.
I think there's certain names hit the ear weird. It's like I feel like there's going to be a whole generation of like I've said this 100 times, like the Hayden, Braden, Caden, Jaden. You know what I mean? Like all those guys. Like they're going to be like 80.
We're
like,
due for a new
that's Uncle
nickname,
Jaden.
Like, I think we're due for new nicknames, considering the fact that like all of these names that have been like really popular in the last like 10, 20 years. There's like Olivia's, Charlotte's, I think Oliver, like Olivia and Oliver is kind of like people just really like that sound. So like I think Ollie has been played out a little bit. Maybe we're looking for something new. I don't know.
Ooh. Yeah, that would be a new nickname for like Ulster.
Olive.
I'm big. Instead of going the first syllable, go with the second.
Yeah, that's good.
Like when we eventually have a daughter, it's gonna be Daphne. I'm gonna call her Fnee.
I like Fnee.
Fnee.
Is that one or 2 syllables?
One. We'll go with one. I have no idea. Is the part of the first or second syllable? Are we gonna just make this is the pod now? We didn't watch the movie.
I mean, not to fun. Belabor. I was funny you brought that up because I was thinking about it because we named our daughter Amelia, and I was like, shoot, like this is gonna be bad. And it was like top 10 name, and I was like, all right, top 10, like it's not terrible. Sure. But then like the year that we actually named her, the ratings came out. She's like number 2. Dude.
Oh, no.
Like Amelia is everywhere.
There's gonna be like 3 Amelias in her class.
Dude, I know. So that's what we call her Millie. So that's what you're saying.
That's
The
good.
second syllable. So I was like,
Millie's good.
yeah,
Millie's
I call her
sick.
Millsley, Mildred, all those. Yeah, all those are good. So
Yeah. We
talking
technically
about
made
draft
our
pick.
kids up, but
oh yeah,
We
well, you have Madsen. Like that's like the bet. Like
you would
like-
think that was really common, but people are like, wow, I didn't know that was a real one. And then we just saw 2 people in our circle that both had boys named them Madsen like 2 months.
no way, dude.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Never heard the name before
What?
that. But he's gonna be Mads. He's not gonna get. He's gonna get a Madsen when he fucks up. But he's
Mads
he's gonna
May.
be Mads. Yeah, I want it to be Mads the whole time. I want it just to be
May's pretty
Mads.
cool. Mads May
Um,
sounds like a Marvel character.
Mads May is
Marvel
sick.
character.
Yes.
That doubles as an editor of a newspaper. 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, shoot,
Um,
yeah.
You're totally right, or maybe even a high school quarterback. I hope not. He's gonna
What is he
be
called like
his middle name's Robert. Mad Bob.
not like a superhero name. Oh, Mad Bob.
Mad Bob's his superhero name.
Mad Bob May.
Mad Bob.
Mad Bob, man. We've already given his nickname. He's 3 months old.
Really good.
Yeah. So
Wait, is that 3 months? Is he 3 months old?
3.5 months. He's almost 4 months old.
God, that happened quick.
He's huge.
Golly.
He's so big. Anyway, we
Sorry,
talk about
I'm
babies
sorry.
a lot here. He's got 2 young ones. Do you have any
We
kids?
do.
This isn't something we've announced, and maybe I'll even ask you guys to edit it out. But we are 3 months pregnant right now.
Oh, shoot.
Congratulations.
That out.
Super early. So if
All
there's
you
something
do
we
is-
end up having to cut, I'll let you guys know.
Okay,
So I'm gonna
yeah.
try to
All
wait
you
for-
do is say, "Hey, get that out of there," and we'll just.
That's
we'll cut
amazing,
right
dude.
out.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I
Congrats.
appreciate it.
Very
Yeah,
exciting.
Congrats.
Yeah, we're
Awesome.
expecting a boy in July.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
Hot dog. It gets me jacked
It
up.
is
New
best.
dads get me jacked up. It's fantastic.
Mm.
The way you were originally answered that, though, was like you had multiple children that you didn't want to talk about. So that was like, I was like, where's this
Ooh,
going?
my wife
He's
doesn't like to talk about it, but-
actually, funny you should ask. Many illegitimate.
Oh, I thought you were just gonna be like, I don't really like him. So,
Yeah. Exactly.
you're not
Secret
Tyreek.
family in
Sorry,
Minnesota and
You're
Cleveland.
you're not Tyreek. Yeah. You're
That's
Who's
more
the
kids
corner?
than
Who's the
touchdowns.
corner for the Chargers? Oh gosh, what's his name? Like he was like even more so than Tyreek. It was like had like
Nick
15
Cannon?
baby mamas.
I don't know.
Hey, some people just
More
out there trying to do it. I played with a couple guys who were like, it was their goal.
Yeah.
What?
Oh
A
wow.
couple Dominican guys who were like, oh no, it's
Oh
great.
yeah, because yeah.
Yeah, no, I want a bunch of different kids from different. Like, it's great. It's cheap. It's cheap. I was like, stop saying that to me. I'm leaving.
What does that
I-
even mean?
just like
Cheap
it's
for a major
like
leaguer.
yeah, it's like
Oh my.
child support's not very much. I'm like, take care of it's a person, dude. I'm not gonna
That's
name any
crazy.
names.
Dude,
I was
kids
like,
are
I'm
super
walking
inexpensive
away.
these days.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
Have you
especially
seen
here
the
in
prices of
America.
children? My goodness.
It's
Price
crazy.
of children are quite high.
Prices are coming down.
Just bringing them in to the world is crazy expensive. Johnny, thank you for joining us once again. We would love to meet you really quick. Give us a little bit of background on
Yeah.
you. Just give us the cliff notes. He was a football player, everyone should know that. But I want him to give us a little bit of his history with the game and then what he's doing right now.
Yeah, so I made that transition from NFL fullback with the Minnesota Vikings and Cleveland Browns on and off for about 5 years on different teams and practice squads and stuff. Got the chance to score a touchdown in the NFL, which is definitely, a highlight there. It's the jersey behind me if you're watching. Made that classic transition from NFL fullback to D&D nerd. Just decided that
Tale as old
that
as
was
time.
Tale as old as time. It's a huge part of my life now, and I've had the blessing to be like a professional in two very silly passions and things that people don't get to go professional in. So we just had a Kickstarter that made over $300,000 over the full crowdfunding for our book called Sync. It's the D&D guide to pirates and tattoos with a really good friend of mine, Sam Rusk, as the artist for the book. She's a full-time tattoo artist, and it's super fun. We're in the process of making it right now. But yeah, that's the kind of stuff that we do, is make like supplements for Dungeons and Dragons. And that was the one that I've made, but we're in the process of trying to do more in the tabletop space.
That is sick.
That's really
That is so cool.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's what I should be doing. Making
Yeah.
D&D books. That's how I operate. You'll learn. You'll learn in the next hour.
And everything else is like, I try to blur the lines and break down. Oh, there's my cat in the corner. and try to break down
He's got a
that
cat.
false binary of jocks versus nerds. It doesn't exist. We're all just nerdy people who use our bodies athletically in one way or another. And I talk about that on my podcast called Athletics Check, where we talk to athletes about what they're nerdy about and talk to nerds about what their relationship with sports. So yeah, those are some of the fun things that I do.
Oh, Paul, do you know an athlete that's a massive nerd? Have you met one of those before?
No.
No, not once.
No.
Yeah, we're still looking for a first.
I definitely haven't had one tell me his entire backstory lore for the book he's writing. I definitely haven't had that happen.
That definitely hasn't happened.
2 hours. Yeah,
That is
That's
secret.
cool. We'll have to meet that person.
Keep that a secret.
Keep that a secret. Don't tell people about that. There's a lot more now, by the way. And also,
a lot of lore.
Anyone out there who doesn't think that athletes can be nerds, you say that to Myles Garrett's face. I bet
100%.
you won't.
Oh yeah.
Because that
You know
guy's
what's
up
funny
there.
is this like little poster here is it says Dungeons and Drag Routes. It's the cover art that was for Sports Illustrated covering our D&D group, which included Myles Garrett and Wyatt Teller, my teammates for the Cleveland Browns. And this piece of art, so this is my character, or at least somebody wearing my number 40 when I was with the Browns, fighting off like a dragon. I thought that art was so cool, and I asked the people over at Sports Illustrated to give me the contact information for the artist, because it wasn't originally me, it was Miles. And I wanted them to make it me. So they did it. They changed the skin tone, changed the number, and we got it printed out as like a full-on poster.
Sick, man. That's so cool, dude. That's
It
sick.
wasn't me,
I did
it was
not know
Miles.
He'll sell a couple more issues than I will.
That's
He's pretty good
amazing,
football. Well, we have a movie today.
We do.
We have a movie, and Johnny, you want to introduce our movie? What movie did we watch today for the episode?
We watched the 2014 classic. I'm pretty sure NFL sponsored Draft Day.
Yeah.
Starring Kevin Costner.
Yeah, that.
And Jennifer Garner.
How could you tell Kevin Costner's in it? You didn't see the poster, did you? Because it's just him. We'll talk about that in a moment.
Okay, I was going to say, do we want to talk about the poster at first, or we should probably introduce the movie more?
We should probably introduce the movie. So last episode we had Noah, my lawyer friend, who represents all of us in this space now. And I was gonna have Paul do his movie theater voice to read this synopsis of the movie as we introduced it, but Noah kind of just railroaded him out of the way. So I realized that this is how we're gonna do this now. Johnny, you can read it. If you don't want to, Paul can read it.
Yeah. I'm more than happy to. Am I supposed to do my best movie theater voice?
You got to do a movie theater voice. You got to tell it.
Right, let me get a little bit of water first.
Just in case I need to go back up. I got you.
Yeah. You got my back. Draft Day 2014 follows Sonny Weaver Jr., played by Kevin Costner, the general manager of the struggling Cleveland Browns, as he navigates the high-stakes drama of NFL Draft Day. With his career on the line, Sonny must make bold and unexpected decisions to secure the future of his team, while balancing personal and professional challenges. The film explores themes of leadership, sacrifice, and the intense pressure behind the scenes of professional sports.
Nice.
Well done.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Couldn't have done it better. Paul
Definitely came out of breath. I lost my breath halfway through that. I had to push through.
I was getting video game tutorial vibes from that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
yeah. Sorry for keeping the 2014 and the Kevin Costner. Usually I delete that. I forgot this time. So threw a little wrench in there, like I did at Paul in the intro, which is why I was laughing. By the way, I never addressed that, but I knew you were gonna say season 2 and then the episode, or season 4 of the episode, and so I put it in later so you'd have to say it twice, and you did it.
I hate you so much, dude.
It was in there on purpose because you do it every time.
I'll read whatever's on the teleprompter.
Exactly. He reads whatever's on the prompter.
Oh,
so, God. Oh, let's get into some critics. This is new this season. We're going to talk about what the real critics in the real world said about this movie when it came out. But I'm going to do it this time because I didn't get to do it last time. All right. We have the good and we have the bad.
Okay.
All right. We got the good and we got the bad. The good.
Do we each want to read one of the little lines?
Johnny with his great ideas. Okay, fine. I will go first.
Trevor,
There's
our
three
guest.
here for a reason, for both.
You're right. There is 3, and there's 3 of us. That made sense.
Come
Why
on.
didn't I think of that?
Stupid.
Okay, I'm going to take the first one. The good from David Jenkins from Little White Lies. It's a blog. I looked it up. Air punch inducing drama with Kevin Costner about the the air, surprisingly, the surprisingly fascinating sport of American football player trading.
Can we comment about these as they're coming, by the way? Because I kind of want to say something about this one.
Yeah.
This person cannot possibly be American, right? Like this,
There's no way.
There's no way, which
no.
is completely fine. Like it's, soccer was football far longer than American football was football.
Yeah.
But there's just something wrong. There's something that sounds wrong with the syntax. Like I saw your reaction to it. That was like the surprisingly fascinating sport of American football player trading.
Player trading.
As if it's its own sport. The trading
it's
is
almost like we're being traded on New York Stock Exchange or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like commodities. Yeah.
The real tell though is the saying American in front of football.
Yeah,
that's a pretty good tell.
Yeah, you don't have to do that here.
All right, I'll take the next one.
Yeah, you go to number 2.
All right. Ian Nathan, Empire Magazine. The drama holds the attention throughout, even if the script never quite crackles. Is that crackles? As it might.
Yeah.
Crackles.
So you put this you did put this in the good category.
Crackles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there wasn't a lot of like glowing ones. There were most of them were like,
yeah,
dude.
It was pretty good.
Being a reviewer, you're like, all right, I just reviewed this last movie like last week. Like, is there like a thesaurus? Or like, okay, what crackles. Got it.
Last time?
Oh,
No, but you're looking for a word that doesn't fit. It doesn't crackle.
It doesn't crackle. Gotcha.
It doesn't quite crackles.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna butcher this last name. Chris Nashawati.
I think you crushed it.
Nashawati from Entertainment Weekly. I have a friend who used to work for Entertainment Weekly. Thanks to Costner's sly, dry-aged charisma, it marches down the field and scores. Love a good sports metaphor.
Oh, gosh, yeah, this is what I'm saying with the reviewers.
And like a barbecue, dry aged, just dropping a.
Yeah, I don't like calling somebody dry aged.
Yeah, I don't take that as a compliment.
Like it's basically saying like, yeah, he's old and he's better because he's old.
Yeah. Dry.
Well, he doesn't look. It's been 10 years since this movie came out, so he looks better than I recognize.
I can't believe it's been 10 years. Holy frick. Oh
yeah, it is 10 years old, man.
My goodness.
Lots happened in those 10 years.
You taking the first bad one?
Yes, I am. I'll take the first. Now we're into the bad from David Denby from the New Yorker. They're usually positive over at the New Yorker. Ivan Reitman's dull-witted movie about the flurries of player trading on NFL draft day might be a commercial for professional football.
It's another one that says player trading. I don't like it.
Yeah, this guy also might be English. I don't know, but it said professional football.
David Denby sounds like a British person's name.
Yeah, David Denby.
And also, NFL is like an acronym. With the period.
It is, but you don't put periods there.
You don't put periods there. Come on.
No. That's stupid. All right, this one's from Wesley Morris, Grantland. It's a sign of Costner's enduring stardom that he can skate through a movie this hyperactive and dull, yet still have you like him. Okay.
Did you like his character in this movie?
No.
His character wasn't very likable.
I didn't like him at
all.
all.
A huge douche. Like he wasn't likable at all.
I didn't mean for this to become a roast of these critics.
But I mean that's kind of why they're here. Yeah.
All right.
We know better. The podcasters.
Stephen Rea from the Philadelphia Inquirer says the NFL gets a special thanks in the end credits. Maybe it should have been the other way around. Now I'm all in on that one. I'm good with that one.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
I mean, I would like to see where the funding from this movie came from. Who produced this movie? I didn't even check.
The Goodell Foundation, probably. I don't know.
It is part of the research. The NFL got involved very, very early, right after they got the director, which is actually very famous for a couple of their movies. We'll get into that in a moment. Johnny, you get the pleasure of giving us our letterbox, though. There's always letterbox. You got to leave it up to the people.
The true critiques.
The Twitter of movies.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got.
By Bruise Cone, 3 stars. This was so good until Diddy showed up.
Yeah. So Sean Combs is definitely in this movie.
Yeah. That jump scared me for sure.
Yeah, dude, it was like a jump scare. It's exactly right. Yeah.
And say what you will, like he definitely got better as his career in the last 10 years or so, but good Lord, he never really was a great actor, was he?
No,
he wasn't.
And not
he's terrible. Might call a bad actor,
bro.
Yeah, there's a lot of let's see who we can jam into this movie. It doesn't matter if they can act or do anything. So
Sam Elliott's in this movie.
He is.
Oh yeah,
he's great though. They just
He's
snuck
great.
him in.
It's such a little cameo. They like flew him out to Wisconsin to film this little like coach promo. Yeah.
I'm like, he's not from he's from the Wild West.
Yeah.
He's from Texas. If he's not in Texas in a desert, I don't believe it. I do not believe it.
They hired Texans all over the college football.
But yeah, quite a crazy time to watch a movie with Diddy in it. It is a little bit of jump scare. Industry stats real quick. I'll hit you with them. Box office, 29.5 million worldwide.
Yeah.
Well, it's a football movie, so it's not going to make any money in anywhere but America. But it did make $4 million. So the budget was 25 million, which is 1/4 of the Emperor's New Groove, which is crazy, absolutely crazy.
Because it's the NFL movie, and it costs less.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I am interested though if the budget includes like marketing and stuff, because I think sometimes it doesn't include marketing, which I remember that these ads being everywhere.
I do too, and honestly, it might have been like a tandem, like they're getting a deal on it, so they don't have to spend the money. The NFL it really was just they push. I mean, the NFL logo's in the background of the poster. We're gonna get to it in a moment. I keep bringing it up, but we will. So it's like when it's on the actual like material, like they're probably just like, hey, you can use that for free. You know, which would be very, very, very expensive otherwise. If you didn't notice, Moneyball in contrast, which a movie we have not done, we probably will do on the show at some point. There's not a lot of MLB logos floating around in that movie. There's a lot of angles trying not to show things. Not a lot of Oakland logos either, because it's just.
Am I remembering correctly in that Moneyball? Not to talk about a different movie. It feels in my memory, it feels very like desaturated. Like none of the team's colors and stuff really pop out. Like it doesn't feel like A's green really.
Yeah, it's like it feels very dark, which is funny because having played there for a year, it is very dark. So they got that. Like the lighting's really weird. It's like big lights, but they're in like two spots, and then there's no lights anywhere else. So there's shadows. But so they crushed that, and you notice the saturation on this movie. They tried to give it a a little bit of that,
super
like
bright, really
saturated, vibrant.
But then you go into other rooms and it's like really dark, but like Kevin Costner. Anyway, it's weird cinematography. It felt very like I don't know. It felt very corporate. Awards and noms. Best sports trailer. Okay.
How many sports trailers come out any given year?
That's an award.
Evidently, I don't even know the Golden Trailer Awards.
I got nominated for it. It didn't win it.
It didn't even win. And there's been like 4 sports movies like made since then. Yeah. So it's outside of Creed, all the Creeds. Other than that, like there's really not much. Jennifer Garner though got a nomination for Best Supporting Actress at the Critics' Choice Movie Awards, which is great. I don't really know what she did above and beyond, but she's fine.
Yeah, I think she's generally likable in whatever she's in.
Yeah,
but I don't know if she'd put in any kind of like extra special work for this one.
Yeah. She wasn't quite at Alias level, but she did pretty good.
You can't judge her based on that.
Yeah, you can't judge her. Better than Elektra though, maybe I'll say that.
I'll give you that.
The director, Ivan Reitman. Now, pop quiz.
Okay,
you guys know another movie that Ivan Reitman directed?
I looked it up during the movie, and I completely left my mind because I'm going to be honest. I did take an edible before watching this,
as one does, as you should. That's the only way to watch movies.
Because look, I'm going to be honest. I maybe I'm saying this a little too early. And back in 2014, I did not enjoy this movie at all, and I was not expecting to watch this movie and enjoy it. I will say it was not as bad as I remember.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Little preview.
Yeah,
I'll be honest. I was high.
I don't remember what Ivan Reitman did before this.
But anyway, to get to the Ivan Reitman directed Ghostbusters.
Oh yeah,
yeah, a movie that we just did recently around Halloween.
That's right.
So
what?
In the world. So like he was like they got the script. Joseph and Rothman, the two guys that wrote it. They got the script. The first guy they showed it to Reitman. He loved it. And it was just they're in, and he was like, "I'll do it." And he was like a big deal. Like, you do Ghostbusters. Like, he's like, "We have Ivan Reitman. Like, who wants to do the movie?" And then that's when the NFL got involved. So then it just turned into Kevin Costner featured in basically just an hour and a half long Super Bowl commercial. in my opinion, in a lot of ways. But we have Kevin Costner playing Sonny Weaver Jr., Jennifer Gardner as Allie Parker, Dennis Leary is Coach Penn. Don't see him much anymore, but
Yeah, that was weird.
him being a coach, that tracks. Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah.
This was his first kind of big movie. Did you know that?
I did not know that
Was
I didn't know he
was
in
this before the Jackie Robinson movie?
Yes. Jackie Robinson was 15 next year.
Okay.
And Frank Langella as Anthony. Oh, yeah, as the owner. Anthony Molina, the owner of the Browns, who is not a real person. Just so everyone knows.
No.
Gotcha.
Jimmy Haslam and D. Haslam, real owners.
Oh, we got a guy who was.
I know that because
guys,
I was on the Cleveland Browns.
There you go.
Which was very. It was it's been a couple years since I've been at the facility. I got cut in 2022, and it was very fun getting to see the actual Browns facility get so many scenes in this movie. And they really tour the whole facility. They go to the indoor. They go to the indoor practice field. The outdoor practice field, the offices, the locker room. There's a lot in this movie that is like, okay, this is the layout is there. Yeah. I will say the layout of Cleveland is not super accurate.
No.
There's only gonna be like 2 people maybe who understand this part, but like the Sonny Weaver like leaves his beautiful home, which must be near Edgewater, which is near the lake, and then drives east to go down 25th Street next to West Side Market, which is you can completely understand why they chose this little like B-roll footage of him driving down that street. It's a gorgeous street. You see the West Side Market on the right, which is an old train station. It's super cool. But then he's like taking these side streets to be able to get to a place that's 30 minutes away, and I just don't believe it.
It's funny because I noticed that too. Because I've been to Cleveland more often than maybe I wanted to, frankly. And I remember being like when he was approaching the stadium, I'm like, okay, now I believe where we are. See, there's traffic cones everywhere. Yeah, he's absolutely going to the stadium. But the beautiful house, I'm like, we're in Cleveland right now. And then moving. Yeah, I was like, this doesn't make any sense in space. And then when he pulled off to yell at someone in the middle of the movie for changing the deal, right? He's like, you changed the deal. Yeah, what he pulled off. I'm like, where are we now?
Oh.
Yeah,
we're like in the middle of Ohio now. We're not even in.
He ended up at a Sunoco. Which was nice. So there's Sunoco's all over Cleveland.
That's you guys noticed a lot of the travel-based scenes in this movie.
I mean, when it's a place you spent 3 years in, yeah, you're gonna notice.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Paul. Also, I was there. There was times where there wasn't a lot of people anywhere, so I was just like, all I had to do was look at the things.
I will say, I haven't ever been to Cleveland, but I have been to where was MLG? Columbus, Ohio, and I still remember how oddly vacant that city was.
Was it?
Like, I mean,
was it on a school break? Because Columbus is
must have been in summer,
like students.
I get whenever MLG Columbus was, I don't remember when they used to hold it, but it was a weekend. It was like a Saturday or something. It just felt like there should be people here.
It wasn't a Saturday in football season because it would not be vacant then.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right. I was like,
it's Ohio State, yeah, huge college town
for sure.
But yeah, but it's not in like a huge city like in Seattle, right? When everyone goes to Washington, everyone who goes there, a lot of them are from here too. So like
Cleveland's not empty.
Campus is always full. Yeah,
Cleveland's big. Cleveland's the biggest city in Ohio.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. All right.
But on a Tuesday at 11 a.m., it can feel a little bit empty.
Oh, that's the other thing is Tuesdays was our day off during the season, and Tuesdays, a lot of stores in Cleveland shut down for whatever reason. So I was always a little disappointed to find out that my favorite sandwich store wasn't serving on Tuesdays during my day off.
They did it on purpose.
Isn't that the worst? Yeah. Isn't that the worst about professional sports? Our off days are the worst days. Ours were Mondays and Thursdays. It's like there's nothing.
No,
there's nothing today. Nobody's doing anything, and now I don't get to do anything, even though it's not like I ever wanted to do anything really. But you get it. You get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
All right. I did a little research. I'm going to give us a little background on the movie. Also, by the way, Reitman did Stripes, another popular. This is kind of weird because it's all like 25 years later.
Where was Bill Murray in this movie?
I feel like there was an opportunity was missed. He was probably just doing 15 Wes Anderson movies in a row.
He could have easily been one of the agents, the GM,
the draft room guys, the scouts,
one of the draft.
Yeah, yes.
They should have made him the GM of the Seahawks. I would have liked that.
Look how many guys, or look how many girls this guy slept with. Like he could have been one of the guys. Oh, that'd have been. Oh my god, the missed opportunity.
I will say, I think part of the reason why I didn't like this movie back in 2014 was the draft room scripting and everything. Like I recognize a lot of those actors now. It's like I also had to look up Ivan Reitman because I had to wonder if he had like directed any episodes of Veep, because there's like 2 or 3 Veep
There's a bunch of Veep actors in it.
Yeah. And
too.
yeah, but all those guys, I like those actors, but I hate what they give them in the draft room. They sound so like, I don't know, it just sounds so like dumb and forced, and like
the writing,
especially the reactions to the film, like watching film of Chadwick Boseman's character, like you know, sacking the quarterback Bo Callahan. It's like, oh my gosh, he really got him. It's like, is anybody ever going to react like that? Especially when you've watched it 1,000 times, which they claim they have in the movie.
But they're just as surprised. It's like
they're just as surprised. Like, oh, he really took his head off on that one.
Just like the audience.
They threw out like a bonehead move once. Like, I'm like, no.
What a real bonehead.
These guys are getting in that room.
Ref.
2 of every 3 words you hear is a swear word too. Like, there's no way.
And I know we're not going in order for you guys to like run down, but I had to make a note of the close-ups on the game film of like you're going you're watching from the sideline camera. I'm like, okay, yeah, this is pretty realistic. And then it gets into a camera that's like on top of the left tackle's head, close up on Bo Callahan's face, the way that he's reacting to getting sacked. Or like, it's just wild. And then, sorry, I'm just going off on it. It's directly related to the film. I'm just talking about the like watching film in that room is what's his I want to say Vontaze Burfict. It's not his name. What's Chadwick Boseman's character name?
Oh, Vontae Mack.
Vontae Mack. They call him. He's supposed to be a middle linebacker, right? Like that's what they call him at the very beginning of the movie. Why is he landing up with his hand in the ground on the edge?
Yeah, I saw. Yeah.
Why is he have so many sacks? I get it if you're blitz heavy team coming from behind the D line, but he's putting his hand in the ground like he's Myles Garrett.
Yeah, like he's D. Like, and he's always coming around the end. I'm like, middle linebackers are never coming around the end ever. Some crazy shit has to happen. Dude, there's so much. We're definitely gonna get into that.
Sorry,
the cinematic shot with I'm gonna lose it. With like it was like a 1.7. Sorry, I'm about to hit you with a camera aperture, but it was like a 1.7 aperture where it was all like blurry behind him, like it was a super cinematic shot. I'm like, what? This is supposed to be on TV? That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Okay, so background on it is basically that the 2 guys wrote it. They're like, we're interested in the drama of sports. A lot of people who aren't in sports are interested in that. That's kind of what I've now my career. Now I talk about baseball and tell everyone all the stuff behind the scenes. So people love that shit, but that's kind of where it started. And then they got Reitman to help, and then the NFL came in and was like, "Hey, can we put our logos everywhere, and we'll help you get some
Is that how it
very
happened?
notable actors."
It didn't originate from the NFL saying, "Can we make a draft day movie?" Or they didn't go to the NFL first?
No, they didn't go first. That's a lot of times it's how it happens too when you write a movie too. You're just trying to get someone with some sort of clout somewhere to be attached to it, and then you shop it. So if you did a baseball movie, you would try to get some. Jason Bay is going to. They're like, oh, really? And we'll do it because that's just how professional sports work. They want to know how they're going to make their money, which it seems like they did. One other little interesting fact here: the NFL draft footage used in the movie was filmed actually during the year before his draft, 2013. So all of that is live, and one of our editors who's going to edit this episode is actually in it because he was at the 2013 draft as a kid, and he's a Patriots fan. He was just like in the you can see him like
I think I saw him.
Oh, that's cool.
I saw him. He reacts to like people as if he's being booed or something. I love that.
Yeah. Amazing. He was like in the stairway, and he's like a younger guy. Yeah, that's him.
I totally remember that.
That's awesome.
He's going to be editing that. His name's Joshua. Shout out to Joshua. And then Chadwick Boseman, I guess he did tons of research for this movie to portray to a football player because it's not something
he did a great job.
I think he did too. I think
he did a great job. I really enjoyed his performance.
I also did. And then Kevin Costner's just this is the movies. This is what he did this is him. This is him. He was in every baseball movie, and he's like, I like football. I'm like, want to be in this one? He's like, sure. Okay. Let's get into the categories and let's just go for it. All right, Johnny. First of all, though, most of the time we let our guests just choose the movie.
Sure,
but it sounds like it might have been suggested by our mutual friend Noah Is that true?
I was recruited for this episode, which I am more than happy to have been, because this is great. I think you guys probably already had the D&D episode kind of locked up with Diana. So I am more than happy to fill in, because look, I'll be honest, even though I didn't like fall in love with this movie in 2014, I think it felt a little cheesy. At this point, I was already in college football. I knew a little bit more about like how things work, and it felt very, felt very fake and forced and stuff, and like the things wouldn't happen as it is. But I'm sure you watching like any given like baseball TV show or movie are going to react a little bit stronger, because oh my god, that dude's form is horrible, or like it doesn't look real, or it's not, and this isn't how it actually works. So I think looking back at it with a little bit of like okay, this wasn't necessarily made for me. This was an NFL commercial to try to bring in more people, right?
Yeah.
So, and then to be honest, the people of Cleveland love this movie. I talked about this on like social media a number of times, and all of like the Cleveland Browns fans who follow me are like, I love draft day. I said something like hot take, draft day is not good, and it probably wasn't like hot take whatsoever. But the Cleveland fans are like, that movie rules. It's a movie that shows off the Cleveland Browns. It's like, why wouldn't it be good? I'm like, okay, you can have that perspective. Sure. Absolutely. But yes,
they have Major League too.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, they
exactly.
Did. Yeah,
there's so many sports movies set in Cleveland.
Yeah. People love Cleveland. It's almost like they're like, what underdog city can we make a movie about?
Well, it's just like they're a sports town, man. Like
they really
they'll tell you right away. Which
you learned very quickly in the movie with the exposition dump from the radio, which I thought was fun.
There's sometimes you got to do it, especially if you're trying to get people in. You got to give them a lot of background. Johnny, you didn't look up the ratings before, did you?
I did not.
Great.
Perfect.
We're gonna guess the ratings for the movie.
Okay.
As we always do, Rotten Tomatoes, IMDb, Letterboxd. Paul, you get a lead off though.
You got it.
What do you got?
Rotten Tomatoes. I'm gonna do combined score as I always do. I'm gonna say it got a 68. IMDb, I'm gonna say is a 5.1, and Letterboxd is probably gonna be somewhere around 2.5.
Nice.
Thank you.
I'm gonna put Rotten Tomatoes at like I'm gonna say 63%. IMDb, I'm gonna say 6.1, and Letterboxd, I'll give it. Does it do like only by half stars?
No, it can be a
decimal
point
out of
decimals.
5. I'll give it like 2.9 stars.
Solid.
Okay. Wow.
Solid. So Rotten Tomatoes, they now split their scores, but it's a 60 and a 65, which averages out to about a 63. So that's a good call. Actually, 68 is really close too.
Not bad.
Really solid. That's really solid. Rotten Tomatoes usually gets a good idea, kind of the balance of people loved it and didn't. IMDb tends to be a little harsher because of the amount of critics that are involved. It's a 6.8 though, which isn't bad. Like that's 7's usually a rewatchability line we found. And Letterboxd is a crapshoot. You never know. It's one of those ones where they can go bomb it if they don't like it. But it turns out there's quite a few Browns fans out there. It's a 3.1, which is higher than I would have given it. 3 is usually your like, is it rewatchable type of.
I mean, the guy who said it was good until Diddy showed up gave it 3 stars.
He did.
Yeah, that's right.
And right on. Him and his dog. Him and his dog photo. All right, we have the poster here. Okay. A very high resolution photo, by the way.
This looks like 8K.
This is nice. For those of you at home that can't see, it'll be up on the screen, I'm sure. Yeah. Right, Joshua? Thanks. Rate this poster on a scale from 1 to 10. How do you guys feel about it?
What's 10?
10 is the best poster you ever seen.
I'm looking at this, and what I like about it is that it doesn't try to like bring in all the characters of the movie, like
or any of the characters. No, those guys
it doesn't bring in like the floating headness of like trying to get all of your stars, because there's only they could have very easily put Jennifer Garner in this.
Her name's there.
Poster. And what's that? They did get her name in there. It's true. But looking at it, it looks like, okay, this is very clearly an NFL movie. This guy looks tired because his tie is a little bit loosened and his top button's unbuttoned. And he's holding the football. I think the thing that throws me off a little bit is I will show you what an actual NFL football looks like, and it doesn't look like the ball he's holding. There is writing on both sides of the laces that does not go up on the football. And maybe they weren't sure they were going to be able to use the NFL logo in that poster. And then they got, obviously it's green screened on in the background. Yeah. But I'm wondering if they just got like a blank football, and to shoot that promotional photo with.
Yeah. That is a great pickup.
Wow, a little detail there.
Kind of weird considering that the NFL logo is freaking everywhere. Yeah. All over the movie. So that must have been right at the beginning for the promo. And they do that. They do the shots like right away. This might be even before they filmed anything. He even looks a little bit younger there, frankly. They could have even airbrushed him up a bit.
They definitely.
Do you think he got his hair dyed for this?
Yeah, it's looking pretty dyed to me.
Yeah,
probably.
The last scene, it's a little grayer, like they let it fall a little bit. You see the back of his head when he hugs his mom. I'm like, I see something. There's some gray there.
Makeup.
But yeah, it's just Kevin Costner. For those of you who can't see it, it's just Kevin Costner standing there.
Just him in front of the blurred NFL draft stage.
Let me tell you, I know that we've mentioned it already, but I'll be damned if that image of him holding that football doesn't make me wildly uncomfortable. I don't know if it's the meaty hand or what.
It's the look. It's got to be the look.
He's gripping that thing, and he's making direct eye contact with me. And
he's barreling the camera.
That's the thing. Is like I'm gonna put this football. Like it's a little aggressive.
He's got a big "say it again" face.
Yeah. Oh, try it again. You say that one more time. I put this football so far.
I'm getting a little bit of like, does he want me or does he want to kill me?
That's what I think they're going for. Is like, does Kevin Costner want to sex me right now, or does he just want to play football with me or trade me?
Probably trade you.
Probably trade me. And there's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 NFL logos I can see for the most part. Like, geez.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
I wonder what this was before, because it looks like they made it before the NFL got involved, maybe. And they're like, all right, just like slap him in front of the NFL draft logos.
I think so.
Yeah, I was wondering what the backup pose was. Like they chose this photo over what other photo? I feel like what other pose was he doing?
I bet he crossed his arms and looked over his shoulder. Well,
yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah.
No? Probably not.
Probably him and what's his name? The coach back to back, like looking at each other.
Dennis Leary. Yeah,
Dennis Leary, like disapprovingly.
These guys, man. These guys. Okay, yeah, I gave it like a okay, so if I'm walking into a movie theater and I'm like, oh, what's on? Like, say it's 2014, because this is actually probably the last year you could actually do this before you knew about everything before. But I walked down, but another Kevin Costner movie. That's what it would have been probably. I'm like, I wonder who they're trying to get to sell this movie. The movie star, who's probably not quite a movie star yet anymore. But I thought it was a good choice, at least for the role, and it's really high quality, but it's very saturated as well. Check it out if you haven't looked at it, guys. Yeah. All right,
I'll give it a 7.5, just because I think that it gives you like a exact feeling of what the movie I think provides.
Just Kevin Costner staring into your soul.
This is kind of what the movie is. So they didn't lie. At least they didn't lie.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Vivian Ward. Pretty Woman's Vivian Ward opening scene. What do we think rated on 1 to Vivian? I don't know if you've seen Pretty Woman recently, but she walks down the street and she's doing it. And it is.
She's not doing it. She's.
you know what I mean?
Walking
she
down
sets
the street.
This tone. We know what this movie's about. Did this opening scene explain what this movie was about to you guys? How did you feel about it?
Remind me what the actual. Paul's losing it. Remind me what the actual opening scene was. Was it him talking to Jennifer Garner? Was it the Seahawks GM like waking up? Because they're like he woke up and thought looked like it was going to be his movie at first.
Yeah, that was confusing actually. Yes.
And that's why I gave it.
I can't remember. I don't think it means that it's very good.
I would almost say everything up into the point where Jennifer Garner drives away is the opening scene, in my opinion. Yeah. I think that's the opening.
Which I don't think necessarily sets the tone for the movie, because this whole pregnancy B story is so thrown away. Like it's only given to you as like this drama between the two, and then then like to create some tension between other characters, like, oh yeah, we know you guys are doing it. But otherwise, it's kind of just like, why put it in there?
Yeah, it's just like artificial tension.
It's artificial tension, and they put it in there because
they got to have Jennifer
a bunch
Garner
of trades happening on the draft day isn't interesting enough. It just isn't. So even with how kind of it rolled out,
I think that I'll disagree with you. I think that is the best parts of the movie. But
I think so too. Yeah,
the fact that it like it didn't feel like it was paced correctly to be able to do that. If this movie was like going from the jump and just like, this is chaos the whole day, because I think that the movie tries to give you the idea that this is chaos, but I don't think it succeeds in it, because there's too much like too many scenes of people kind of just like chilling out.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. There's not a lot of fast-paced movement or scene transitions that make you feel rushed or anxious.
Yeah, I wanted to feel like this day is super chaotic from start to finish. I think give it a little bit of uncut gems, like kind of like this, give it a little bit of that kind of vibe of like, you're on the edge of your seat. Like, are you going to ruin somebody's life doing like, by trading the wrong guy?
Yeah. Yeah. That's a great call. Like, that's it done well. Because on its face, if you just read the log line for uncut gems, you're like, what's this about?
Yeah.
Why do I care about this? But then you watch it, you have to like put it together that way to make it seem like the stakes are high. I feel like they should have like started this with the end at the beginning type situation where like the clock's ticking down and everyone's freaking out, and then it cuts, and then we get back to
12
the beginning.
hours earlier.
Yeah. That probably would have built tension a little bit, or we'd known there's tension coming at some point. Yeah. And so it just kind of goes linearly after that with this random thing he's got going with Jennifer Garner, who
what do you guys think about upset. What do you guys think about the whole it's funny because they do like a bit about it during the recent movie The Fall Guy with Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt, but the whole bit of like phone conversations happening on the same screen, of like seeing both of them split screen, but then there's a bunch of transitions of him like walking across and kind of like the borders shifting to change the cuts and stuff. It wasn't bad, but it was distracting.
It was a lot.
It was
cool how they walk over the edges sometimes, though.
Yeah. There was a lot of rotoscoping in this. They did a lot of that. I mean, whoever the editor was had a time, like cutting everybody out and all that good stuff. Yeah, I mean, I agree that I thought it was cool, but also distracting. Like, I was trying to derive greater meanings from it. Like, it was one person bigger than the other, and then like one person crossing over, but it wasn't really.
It was fluff
doing that. Yeah, like it could have been cool, and it started off cool, and I was like, "Ooh, what are they going to do with this? Ooh, his shoulder's in the frame. What does that mean?" It meant nothing.
Yeah,
it didn't mean anything.
You're right. It didn't. I didn't even think. I was just like, "Yeah, this is cool. It's cool how they did this." As someone who's edited videos before, but I'm just like, "Okay, we're still doing it." It feels like they were like, "Let's bell and whistles this thing," because there's not a lot there. And frankly, I'll be honest, Reitman kind of did that a little bit with Ghostbusters, and it just happened to land. Because the dialogue in Ghostbusters is like incoherent most of the time, and it's just Bill Murray making shit up. So
it is so
like
stupid.
He's not known for dialogue. He's known for like interesting stuff happening on the screen, and they just went for it with the football movie.
I have a question.
So,
what was Jennifer Gardner's character's like position with the team? Because they never straight up say it. Like
cap manager.
That's what they said, but I don't think that's not a role.
Assistant
like I can think maybe like CFO, maybe assistant GM, but I don't think there's ever been like a female assistant GM, because I feel like that would have been like a storyline. But I don't think there's ever been a female assistant GM in the NFL. I could be completely wrong.
She did have a lot of authority, though. I don't. Yeah. It feels like it's a president thing, but like that would be.
They say executive, which is why I was thinking maybe. CFO
oh yeah, they did say executive. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, maybe just payroll. I don't know. A financial exec. I actually don't even, in baseball, I don't even know who those people are.
She also went to law school. So like what, why is it's trying to figure that out. The whole movie.
I feel what?
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm generally like, I didn't even think about this. What is she doing there?
Yeah.
She loves football. She made that very clear. She loves football. I don't know if you guys knew. She loves it. That's half of her dialogue.
Yep. She loves it so much. She remembers stats and moments like up to the yard in the second. She can recall it. like that. Incredible.
There were two things that I remember from this movie very specifically. Like I remember shots and like general like, oh, I kind of remember this thing happening. Two things very specifically that I remember from this movie are Vontae Mack, No Matter What, like that's the classic.
Oh yeah.
And Bo Callahan's Got No Friends.
Yeah.
Quarterback's got no friends.
The moment I saw that guy, I was like, that guy's got no friends. That guy sucks.
That guy sucks.
No
He's
way.
also, I think he was 32 when this movie was shot.
Really?
That tracks.
That sounds about right. He looks like he could be 32.
And you know who the running back was?
10 minutes.
Who's the running
The
back?
running back who got drafted, who definitely had like a whole like C plot that was
so
cut.
much. Yeah.
I did I don't know what it was about taking edible for this movie, but I wanted to like do the research on this thing. But the running back whose storyline must have been cut at least a little bit, it was Arian Foster.
Why does that name sound familiar?
He was former Texans running back.
Texans running back. He was good for a while.
Really,
I didn't know that. Well, that's probably
Yeah.
why I didn't have very many lines.
Yeah, exactly.
I love the Terry Crews. It's not. I thought the budget for this movie was gonna be bigger because there was like a lot of, maybe not
and
like
I thought Terry
super
Crews would have been
A-list.
playing himself. Like if any, like I thought he would have been like one of the characters that was like as himself in the credits.
Well, they got every talking head about football to be in it.
That's
I
true.
mean, the opening monologues from Chris Berman. So
Berman, Deion Sanders.
yeah, Deion's there. Yeah, they got everyone to do this stuff, and it's kind of like Hustle. I mean, Adam Sandler got everybody and their mom to be in that movie too.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But I would say it was done better. What about quotes? Not the most quotable movie. I have a few quotes that were just kind of are funny on their own. They were out of context, and that's kind of what I went with. Like, for example, people pay to get wet. Nice one.
That's good.
One
I did think that scene was really weird.
Yeah,
like
this
it's
would never.
it's
That
8
was one I
a.m.
was like, come on.
It's 8 a.m. on draft day,
really.
And you're like, who are we gonna take?
No, the
Kevin,
owner's
talk
taking
about
the
it.
GM to the water park to make a point about making a splash.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, why did they even meet there?
I don't know.
Dude,
like,
okay,
does he
so many
own
parts of
this
this
water park?
movie feels like when you're a kid and you just accept things, but then you look back at it, you're like, wait, why the heck did they even do that? What? Why was that there? Yeah. I didn't even think about that.
There's a lot of that. Like they were making this movie. They're like, how are we gonna get this part? And they're like, a water park. They're like, there's water parks. We can do it. Sure. Who cares, guys? It's a football movie. No one cares. And then they just did it.
Exactly.
And they did it. Another great one is when he's talking to the GM of the Seahawks. He's like, all right, don't panic. He's like, I'm not panicking. I'm like, one big way to show you're not panicking is say I'm not panicking.
They're saying I'm not panicking. Yeah, exactly.
You know, you just said you are panicking, and now he's going to take advantage of you. And then he did. But those are my two good ones. You guys have any quotes that you really enjoyed?
I have too many.
Ooh,
I have two. I just have two.
All right.
I want to hear your two, and then I'll you can tell me when to cut off.
Okay. All right. One of the first ones was actually when he's at that park, and he makes the whole splash analogy, and Kevin Costner's character is like, so just to be clear, you're threatening to fire me, right? I don't know why. I just appreciated that. Like, that's what you're doing. And then he has one at the very end of the movie, quoting Sonny Weaver. He says, "Come on, Tom, say it with me, you pancake eating motherfucker."
It was it got the PG-13 rating of getting one F-bomb in there.
Yeah.
And I thought they nailed it.
Yeah, it was really good. It was
They
good. Sorry if I
nailed
stole
that
yours.
F-bomb.
Also,
it was so sudden
eating
too. I didn't see it coming.
it was
so
sudden.
good.
I'm like, man, you really don't want this to work out, don't you? Because he can just be like, fuck you, bro, and just hang up.
Exactly.
He's like, damn, I shouldn't have said the pancake thing.
And I don't know if so I was watching this on Amazon Prime Video, and they had the whole X-ray thing. I was like, here's some trivia. Here's who's on screen.
Oh,
And
cool.
one of the trivia things said this movie originally was rated R. And after Lionsgate appealed the rating, and they lowered it to PG-13 after edits. So there must have been way more F-bombs in this movie before it got edited down.
Oh yeah, freaking O'Leary. Yeah, I'm sure there was a lot.
Dennis Leary
No.
in it.
Dennis
For
Leary's
sure.
in like it was
Yeah.
probably
No, but I also think
nonstop.
what are you thinking trying to make an NFL movie that was rated R? And obviously they appealed it, but
Yeah.
but I think even making it a PG-13 movie is limiting your audience, because even if it's a movie about like the behind the scenes of football and like the front office and stuff, I still think any 6-year-old is like who's obsessed with the NFL is going to want to see the movie with the NFL logo on the poster.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I think that's
true.
probably hurt them budget, like with the box office.
That's a good point. Like, yeah, who are you marketing this to?
That was it does seem that they tried to play both. Yeah, it didn't seem like it landed. It didn't land very well in a lot of different ways, but that is a great point. All right, we need to see your list.
Some of my quotes. Oh god, so I took a lot of notes during this.
Dude, wonderful. This is awesome. You're taking more notes than one of us.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go through my pages here. Eating my pancakes, thinking about moving the number 1 pick, I think just got me at the beginning of like, you had these conversations. I know it's a movie and it has to happen within like the time span of like this draft day, but it really bugged me. It's like all of these draft analysis, even if you don't think the guy's going to be dropping to you, you're doing all this draft analysis. You're having all these conversations with other GMs. You know who maybe wants to move out of their pick. You know who, like, what players are up for grabs. So that kind of bugged me, but that was a very small one. There was, oh gosh, I need to get to some in the next pages. Just cut this out.
You're good.
One that bugged me was how important is winning to you, and then Bo Callahan saying, "Excuse me," as if that question wasn't asked to him like a million times through combine prep.
Yeah, it's the most commonly asked question.
Yeah. The one that I actually did giggle over, which I feel like has kind of surpassed like for a while, I feel like this was a meme like that surpassed the movie, which was when he's talking to his mom, "You're on Twitter, you're not." I think kind of got me, because like that was actually like, okay, it's not that clever, but I think it got me a little bit.
Made me chuckle, made me smile.
Yeah.
If only they knew what it would look like in 10 years.
Yeah.
Now
she's still on Twitter, and it is
the strength coach. Yeah, she still is on Twitter.
Dude, the strength coach hit me with the strength coach. That guy was crazy.
The strength coach had some really rough lines to work with. I think he did a great job. He was a goofy character that was played in a very grounded movie, or at least grounded character wise. And first off, squatting 400 as a pocket passer is not bad at all. Like, it's not crazy. Like, Jalen Hurts is probably putting up 600 or something.
600 pounds.
But as a pocket passer, like, that's pretty dang good. What's absolute insane is a quarterback putting up 250 25 times.
Dude, I was like,
not
is this normal? I remember hearing that and I was like,
yeah. By the way, as someone who threw for a living, they're like, dude, do not bench anything. No. You don't want pecs. If you're pecking in the way, you're gonna be like,
yeah. And they're acting as if like benching is going to help you throw. Like, there's very little like that benching does to help. Like you were just saying, there's nothing that benching does that helps you throw.
Yeah,
it only hurts you. And then they immediately say, and he can throw the ball 15 yards farther on average. You're like that. Now kids are going to ask me, should I bench to throw harder? It's your fault, Kevin Costner.
So, and I will say, on moving away from the strength coach, the quarterback, Brian Drew, played by Tom Welling, the guy who played Clark Kent and Superman in Smallville.
It's so glad to see Clark's getting work. That's
exactly. Great. But I think what's fun, a little fun Easter egg, is that Superman the writer wrote him while he was living in Cleveland. Superman originated in Cleveland.
Oh.
So, and if you've seen the new Superman trailer from the one that just dropped like a month ago or something, that's set in Cleveland, ends up in the Guardians field and everything.
That's right.
Yeah. And then the last thing that the strength coach said that really bugged me was, I think there was talking about like Brian Drew, the quarterback's character, throwing in the offseason, throwing to star wide receiver Andre Bills. Anybody within the organization, I don't know if he was supposed to be on the team or on some other team or something like that, just working out with them, but calling a guy star wide receiver feels so scripty.
Yeah.
Like never
telling us, you're not showing us, you're telling us.
Yeah.
You just say a name and we'll assume he's a big deal in that world. We don't need to be told he's the star. Yeah,
exactly. Yes.
I think
that's the way to put it.
I think the piece of jewelry line where Jennifer Garner is making fun of like the most macho sport, most macho guys like trying to fight over a piece of jewelry, as in like a championship ring.
Yeah.
I think is kind of lame, but whatever.
I also like how
Rookie-
Dennis Leary's like, get one of these.
Oh
Like
my
the way
God.
he showed
What are
it.
you
Yeah.
doing
So
wearing your
annoying.
old team Super Bowl
Yeah,
ring
that felt
in the other
weird.
facility?
Yeah,
That's super weird.
People are weird about the rings, man. People are weird
yeah.
about the rings.
Rookie quarterbacks being they're stupid and they're scared. And then there was the one thing that like it wasn't a good quote or anything. There was actually there's one good quote, which was no one can stop a ticking clock, but the great ones make it go really slow. I thought was pretty cool.
that is a pretty cool line. I like that one actually. Yeah.
And then the one that bugged me near the end when they're looking at the Vontae Mack Bo Callahan film was what's missing? A fullback. But Wisconsin runs most of their plays out of an empty backfield. So like, that was the kind of a 3-line back and forth. There are two things that bug me. One, wild to assume as a fullback. I like to mention, but wild to assume that the one guy missing off the field is a fullback. It's like there's nobody in the backfield. You would assume it's probably a running back, right? But saying fullback, I think is just a little interesting. And then the fact that Wisconsin would ever run an empty set as their main offense is silly. Like if you know anything about college football, Wisconsin is a ground and pound team with probably 2 running backs on the field, more likely to have 0 than 0. So those were all the stuff that I grabbed. I have so many notes here.
That's we have nitpicks too. I'm sure you got plenty there, and we're gonna.
And then hey mom, we're gonna have a baby as one of the last lines.
Oh gosh, that was
when
awful.
he looks the oldest, he looks almost. I'm like, you guys are like 48.
I know,
dude. The moment he said it, I was like, this feels creepy now. This suddenly feels I don't like this.
And she's like, great, I'm 80. I hope I make it.
She was. I looked up. She's still kicking. She's 92.
Damn.
Thank God.
Yeah.
All that rage and hate keeps.
She was 82 then. She was 82. When it came out. Oh God. Bro. That's a lot. You're right. There was a lot. But we have moments and we have scenes. So we do scenes, full scenes, or you can just do like a little something that happened that you weren't expecting. I have one, and I hope I'm not stealing it because it was just kind of throwaway. But when Garner walks in and she's got when Leary goes in, the coach, God, what's his goddamn name? Whatever. Dennis Leary comes in. He's got the thing, there's the report on fire, but then the intern in the back goes, fire! Like I thought that was awesome. You see him run across the ring.
I thought what was hilarious was when Jennifer Garner comes in with the fire extinguisher, and she sprays it out, and then there's people in the background clapping. I don't know if it was just added in post or what, but it's like, who's clapping for this?
That's true. They're like, hey, do something. Like, yay. Can I get you guys something? Yeah, I'll take it. I'm not getting you anything. She just leaves. That was pretty great.
That was fantastic.
What do you guys got?
I didn't hate her.
Johnny, you go first?
Sure. I think one thing I do remember really liking about this movie was Vontae Mack's phone case. I thought I remember when I was like, I was 20 years old. I thought that brass knuckle phone case was super cool.
Yeah.
Oh man, I had my nitpick in. Oh, that's what it was. The scene where you meet Diddy. The whole scene, not great, but with the scene where you meet Diddy and you meet Bo Callahan, and you don't know who he is at first, but then he's like showing these 2 shirts, of which one he's gonna wear for draft day. It's like you have that outfit picked out like months in advance from some kind of like, I don't know. It's just one thing. It's like, no, you're not deciding this the morning of draft day.
Yeah. Yes. Oh damn.
Yeah, that was a good pickup too.
That was good.
I'm just nitpicking. These are nitpicks.
No, it's great. You have a perspective about how this all works. Because I don't know. Like I'm assuming draft day is when everything happens, but
I didn't get drafted.
That's when I would pick a shirt. I didn't get drafted either. You know, that's nothing to worry about. Trevor did.
I did.
Right? Yeah, he did. Yeah. I did. Yeah. All right, my favorite scene in my nitpick. I'll actually combine them because that's what Johnny did, and I like Johnny's style. So, favorite scene, because I'm a big sap, was probably when can't remember his name, the running back got the call. Hey, do you want to be
Jennings.
a Brown?
Mm-hmm.
Jennings, yeah. And he was with his dad. His dad was a Brown. I was like, that was cool. That was a cool moment. I like that. I like father-son stuff anyway. So wasn't even
There
really
should have
like,
been more. There should have been more of that duo.
there should have been way more of
Yeah,
them.
it
Like
was a
you got Terry
throwaway.
Crews and you're not going to use him. Like it was, yeah, that was the story I cared about. Like I want to know more about him and that backstory and all that.
I will say one thing though. Here's a nitpick about that scene.
Oh, okay.
He
All right,
gets a
just hop
call.
in,
They're like,
bud.
"Hey,
Just hop in.
we're gonna pick you." They haven't picked him yet, and then they stand up. They go, "You're gonna be a Brown," just in the room with
Yeah,
everybody who doesn't even know what the pick is yet,
That
just
happens,
celebrating.
though.
He's like, are they
That
still on the
does
clock?
tend
Like,
to
Usually
happen.
they're like, "Hey man, good job," but they try to hide it a little bit. They just stood up like it got announced.
Yeah,
But he
like,
doesn't.
well,
He
now
doesn't
throw
say
it.
anything on the phone. I don't know if you guys remember that. He doesn't say anything in response. He just hangs up and says, "I'm going to be a Brown." It's like, do you just like hang up on your
Yeah.
future head coach?
He
Like,
was
what's
like,
happening?
"Hello?"
That's true. Yeah,
And then just
hang
hangs up.
What does that mean?
Click.
Just hangs over. Yeah, he didn't say anything. You're right, dude. What? There's a lot of these little like inconsistencies that I feel like would have been very easy to get right. That they didn't get
Yeah, they did not
quite
get right.
quite right. All right, we got to nitpicks because we're gonna.
Yeah.
I feel like we're gonna be here for a bit.
Darn it, I had a nitpick and that I left my brain. Probably it was that Terry Crews wasn't in it more. My nitpick probably was the Diddy scene wasn't great, but I just feel like with the Diddy scene, it was also weird because I was like, I don't know that maybe I missed it, but they didn't really introduce Bo Callahan, and so when
That's
he
how you
came
introduced him.
and he was like showing the shirts, I was like, either that's Diddy's assistant or his lover, and I don't know which one. It's got to be one of those two. And then he was like, "Hey, Bo, it's for you." I was like, "Oh, that's the quarterback."
No, I
Like,
remember.
what if he was in a
Oh.
towel? Like,
Oh, yeah, so I was like, "Why are you in the hotel with him?" Like it was just
Yeah, no,
some
that's also weird. It's like,
situation. Yeah. That's but I guess it's a nitpick. I don't know. That's just an awkward thing they couldn't see the future of. I guess.
that's true.
I like the mirroring of like the good guy Vontae Mack character versus the bad guy Bo Callahan character, right? And there's like the different perspectives that they have. You know, Diddy is Bo Callahan's agent, this weird white guy who like the
three
lines didn't seem to come out. Yeah, he got like 2 lines, didn't seem to come out like that great when you did end up seeing him. And like, you know, Vontae Mack showing up, like being at his family's house, whereas Bo Callahan is, and I've always felt like it's weird to like give a guy flack for actually going to the draft for the event. Like if you're going to be picked high, then why not be there? And I don't know. I feel like that was supposed to be like a point. I thought all of the points against Bo Callahan in this movie were a little bit unfounded. I get that it was supposed to be like this gut feeling and that you do kind of get this idea that he's slimy, but for one, the story about he's got no friends ends up getting debunked, right? Like I don't think it's ever proven. Like he said, and then he goes like the whole like 21st birthday. Actually, coach, you know, sir, I don't remember anything from that night. First off, a bad answer to your possible future GM. But 2, like, are you going to really blame a guy for getting blackout drunk on his 21st birthday?
Yeah. It's plausible.
Like those are the only 2 things that are against him, besides like, you know, the weird responses to getting, you know, sacked in the Ohio State game.
Ooh, what an animal! Yeah. Oh yeah.
What
okay.
a bonehead.
That reminds me now because you mentioned Bo Callahan. No, one more nitpick. If I heard Diddy's character say, "These things happen. It's the draft," like one more time, I was gonna lose it. Like I get it, man. Like these things happen. It's the draft. I think the other agent said it too. Of like Vontae Mack's agent, like sometimes these things happen. Like, oh, okay. It's almost like they had to describe to the audience several times, like things happen crazy here. Like it's the draft. Things people get traded. Like, okay,
yeah,
sure,
yeah.
One of the things that made it very clear that it was a movie was that Commissioner Goodell coming up for the #1 pick got cheers.
Yeah, I was like,
that's a good point. He hasn't gotten cheers in like a decade or ever, maybe. They just boo him so hard, it's become just a thing. Well, now every commissioner, even Adam Silver, is getting booed now, so everybody gets booed. So,
oh really?
Oh yeah, Rob Manfred gets just. They just keep it going the whole time. Just the general, the whole time he's talking.
I gotta watch a draft. I've never watched a draft.
It's the best.
There's one guy in the Jaguars draft room, of like, you know, like this is the rookie GM that the guy they're trying to like take advantage of.
I love one guy scared he is. It's hilarious.
Oh yeah, no, the great performance by that guy. But like, there's one guy in that room who looks like he's probably like mid 50s to like early 60s or something, with a jet black mullet looking wig. And he's on screen for like a split second, but I'm like, that I want to know more about that guy.
It's the most Jacksonville thing ever.
Jacksonville,
that
dude.
sounds, That sounds like Jacksonville.
True.
Sounds like the
It's
uniform.
everybody. That's everybody. I got quite a few nitpicks, and I'm just going to rattle them off. First of all, the entire premise that a quarterback is a can't miss prospect ever. Has anyone like first round? It doesn't matter. Like one of every 10 quarterbacks turns out to be as good as they think they're going to be. It's just hard. It's just hard.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that
you take what you can, like, with as much information as you have, and you just like, if you need a quarterback, then you get a quarterback. But they didn't need a quarterback. The guy went 5-1 the previous year before getting hurt. It's wild.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like so. Exactly. Like, honestly, though, if he gets hurt and then they go 1-9 or 1-9 for the rest of the year or whatever, I'm like, you're definitely keeping that dude. What the? It's obviously not his fault. What the fuck? Yeah. He's back. He's healthy. Like, you're not gonna waste a first round. Whatever. It made no goddamn sense. But the fact that everyone's like, dude, he's so good. He has sex with so many girls. I'm just like, shut. This is not what this. This is not how this happens. This is not how you make decisions.
Do you think he sleeps with like 20 girls a week? Like one for breakfast and then lunch and then dinner.
But that was their attempt to do the whole "is his girlfriend pretty" from Moneyball, which was done a little bit more of a confidence thing. This one was more like, these are guys already in pro sports too, like drooling over a 20-year-old kid. Like
that also was weird. Yeah.
No, you go to a pro organization, everyone there is like, all right, show us.
Did you see those two guys?
Yeah.
I forget the actors' names, but the black guy and the white guy from the draft room during the like 5 minutes till midnight at like the post draft party, and they're sitting next to each other with what's assumingly like another coworker on their lap, and then she's kissing the guy's cheek or something like that. It's like, this is just like casual like workplace romance, like drunken romance type thing. Like that just felt like a little bit out of nowhere.
This.
Yeah, that did not age well either.
No.
I mean, 2014 guys, I think we kind of knew about it.
It wasn't that long ago, guys.
Yeah, it wasn't. Also, another nitpick real quick. This whole, like, every time he said, I'm doing my job and you do, like, the whole, you're the coach and I'm the GM, we don't talk. I'm like, no, that makes you a bad fucking GM, dude. You're bad at this. This is why you're gonna get fired, because you suck. Like,
he's
got to listen to the other
not
people.
Likable like 99% of the movie.
Yeah, he's
look,
not
I
likable,
understand it's Dennis Leary, and I understand he's just objectively an unlikable person.
Yes,
but like, you suck. You both suck. I don't care what either one of you do. I'm not invested in you getting this working out for you. And for him to constantly say like, this is how it works. I'm like, this isn't how. This is the opposite of how good organizations work. I don't know why we're trying to jam this. Fucking
Trevor, with all due respect, you can play football. Okay,
come on,
like that, Johnny. Tell him it's exactly like.
If you don't talk to if your GM does not talk to your coach, your team usually ends up not being very good. It's usually how it works. So I'm like, that's. I feel like this is common knowledge, and they're just trying to make it feel like it's not. Also, and then you mentioned all the footage of Mac and Callahan. Yeah. Like, they're seeing all this stuff for the first time. Like, oh yeah, you got ejected because you threw the ball. You can't just throw the ball up to some girl, and it's very clearly
that bugs me so much.
It's very clearly,
like
someone he's related to.
Fighting an illness. Yeah,
it's like two kids next flanking her, two children.
And it just so happened that they're the only ones in the whole league that realized that once he left the game, he played well.
And you guys probably realize this, but for the listeners who don't, like, all that game film, like I mentioned before, like, you're getting these close-up shots that you just don't get from the film that actually ends up in the databases for these teams. All these teams are getting film that is filmed from like at the very top of the stadium to get as much information as possible in one shot. You're not getting the close-up, as you're saying, like, complete aspect ratio change and stuff. Yeah. It's wild. Like, there's no TV angles, anything that end up in these teams' databases.
We have it in baseball too. It's called high home. You can see the whole field, so you can see where people are positioned. You can't see any of the pitches, so I hated it. But like, that's what you get. That's what you get. Okay, I gotta know.
Okay,
I put the sequel question in here because I thought that'd be funny. If there were a sequel to this movie, what would it? What would a one line? What would it be about?
I'll let you guys answer first.
Paul, you want to go first? Or did you even think about it yet?
I would say somehow Jennifer Garner inherits the Cleveland Browns. She's the new owner. I feel like that would be
what I was going to say.
her.
It's going to be about Jennifer Garner.
Yep.
He's gone, but their son.
That
they have. He's the first overall pick.
Nice.
Ooh.
And they have to like trade around to get to him.
Yeah, but somehow the grandmother's still alive. You know,
somehow
what I mean?
she's just thank you for a grandson, 110 years old.
Your grandfather used
that's
to
what I
coach
had.
The Cleveland Browns. Yeah.
All right. I don't
either
think...
that or he goes to work at a McDonald's and learn how to really work with people. And it's just Kevin Costner working at McDonald's.
I'll tell you the premise of what the sequel is about.
Okay.
Oh, dang.
Cleveland Browns have all these draft picks.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But they want to get this is a bad maybe this is a bad draft class.
Mm-hmm.
So what they do is they trade some of these picks. They trade the 2022 first round and fourth round pick. They trade the 2023 first round and third round pick. They trade the 2024 first round and fourth round pick. You know, this movie, like the big trade was that it's three years in a row. First, never like they act like it's never happened before. This happened in 2022. The Deshaun Watson trade.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Oh my God, I forgot about that. Dude, that thing is it's every time every detail I remember about it, the bigger a disaster it is.
They gave up 3 first rounders for Deshaun Watson.
And a fourth and a third and a fourth.
I did not realize that's how much they gave up for that. I knew it was a bad deal.
I gave them all their money.
And I was on the team during this time.
Oh my God, I can't imagine, brother. Actually, I can't. I play.
I'm not going to make any other comment besides that.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
That worked out well.
You could just make the movie again, but
yeah,
and did it work out?
I think it's incredibly wild that the whole premise of this is like he's trying to work back from this bad trade that he made, and this trade was overshadowed in real life.
Yeah, they could even make up a fake trade that was crazier than this one.
Yeah,
real
that's good. I like that. I watch that. I watch that movie. All right, I had best performances. I honestly don't know why. I just said recast anyone for Diddy. Just get him out of there.
Anybody.
Chadwick Boseman, I love his performance. Even though like he should have had more scenes. I think Terry Crews and Arian Foster should have had more scenes, even if Arian Foster was maybe not the best actor at the time.
Yeah.
I want to hear their story. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. I think if I'm going to recast anybody besides Diddy, it would be I don't think he did a bad job by any means. Frank Langella as Anthony Molina, the owner. But you know who I want to see? I want to see somebody who's actually at least like maybe bring a little bit of energy to this. I think that's what the movie was missing, is like whenever Chadwick Boseman is on screen, he brings energy to the screen, right?
Yeah,
and like Kevin Costner is so understated during this until he gets mad. Jennifer Gardner is kind of one note the whole movie. And I think bring a little bit of energy into it. Put Ted Danson as the owner.
Danson.
Oh my God. What is he in? We do this to each other every time.
Oh, yeah.
Remind me. Ted Danson. What is he?
Cheers and
the Good Place.
Yeah. That'd be good.
Beautiful white head of lettuce.
I think he'll bring energy to it. He can be like a charming bad guy super easily.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he can be.
I think we were just
honestly like he's not that interested either. Like he's just kind of like aloof. Yeah. Yeah,
I think
good.
But just play it like I needed a little bit different energy from the like kind of understated front office exec kind of vibe that all of the characters seem to be giving, besides the draft room scouts.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, there wasn't. Yeah, and the even any like comic relief was kind of just random.
Yeah,
like
some
they
of it
tried
was
with
the intern, but yeah, it didn't really go over super well.
He was everywhere. He was everywhere in the building.
When he smashes his laptop, he's like, "Why would you do that?" Like, I was like, dude,
my whole life is on here. I was like, damn.
You can get the hard drive.
Costner in real life probably was like, I'm sorry. Jesus. He goes, you know how many Excel spreadsheets were on there?
Man. What kind of monster does this?
And he finds it in the GM's office.
Yeah.
And he's like, who would do this?
Yeah.
Certainly
Maybe
not
the guy
GM.
who's been having a bad day.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude. What do you say? I've been stepping on my dick all day. That's what, I've never heard that one. That was a new one too. That should have been in quotes.
That's why they had to get the
I
PG-13
know, I
rating.
forgot
They
about
needed to
that
have that line in there.
What a weird kind of throwaway scene, too. Didn't really drive the plot at all. He just
Yeah.
apologized and moved on. I don't know.
Like, damn.
I think
What a
they're like, we
schlong
need
on
the
Costner,
intern one
dude.
more time. Yeah, we got to get him back in there. Do something
Another
funny. Why'd you do that?
The whole character arc for Sonny Weaver Jr. is that he's like this. I don't know. He's kind of aloof, kind of like trying to do his job without anybody else involved, which that doesn't change. Like he doesn't do anything. He doesn't involve anybody else in this, but until like maybe he's like, who else do we want to trade for? Let's get the punt returner, right? Like that was kind of the whole like the end of that character arc, and like I'll let you draft the running back, right? So that was like the end of that character arc, but it didn't feel like there was a whole lot of movement there. He's not like, doesn't seem to become like a better person necessarily through this. He accepts being a dad, sure, but there's no like growth there necessarily. And even still, like if you want to say that he became a better person by drafting the good guy Chadwick Boseman's character Vontae Mack, he decided that at the beginning of the movie. He didn't make any changes. He decided that he was going to draft Vontae Mack at the very beginning, and then like there's all this melodrama that happens. And I don't know. It's just.
So I guess you could make the argument that he was the good guy all along.
But yeah.
Yeah, he really doesn't make any. He doesn't change much at all. Like, for example, in the future, is he going to freak out and throw a bunch of shit in his office? Yes. Is he going to break the intern's laptop? Probably.
Yeah,
like,
probably.
I don't think he's not going to do the same exact things he's done. I don't think he's grown really much, and I think that's where it fell flat a little bit. I think you're right. It did, and of course, we're like, it was cool how it kind of came together. That was it had a little bit of a knives out thing going.
Yeah,
a little mystery. But it really quickly, right at the end too, he went a little bit Wolf of Wall Street, especially with the pancake comment, where he's like, "Well, you convinced the guy to do this." He's like, "Let's go, boys!" Like that's kind of what it turned into.
The war room. Yeah.
Did anybody else feel like the end credits was going to have a
stop?
Where are they now?
Dude, I was thinking that. I was like, oh, I wonder what happened. This is fake.
Bolton's fake.
Like they bring up like a player, like I forget what it was, a wide receiver or what, but like an action shot. And I'm like, oh, this is going to tell us like what happened to them.
I was
what
like,
happened to their
what
careers.
happened to Vontae Max? Did he ever make it to the
like we don't know that Bo Callahan became like a bust. He could have very well become like an all-pro quarterback.
Yeah, he could have. Yeah, or he was like, and now he works at 7-Eleven. Like we don't know. We don't.
They should have just made it up.
Just made it up. Yeah,
I like so everyone at the end's like,
yeah,
was this a true story?
And then there's like a random in memoriam section. Like one of the players died.
That's the intern in memoriam.
Oh god.
Oh god. Sorry, too dark.
What was Paul? What was it we watched? We did Friday Night Lights.
Yeah.
With Booby Miles, and I went
Booby
looked up.
Miles, dude.
I'm like, where's Booby now? And then I regret it.
Okay, so he's in prison. He is in prison. He was. Oh, that was a shock.
And he has been for a while.
Did anybody else hear the music that was being played over the end credits?
I didn't fully realize it. No.
I do not know what was up with that music. I forget if I wrote it down or not, but it was some of the. It was called "Born to Rise," and it was unclaimed. There was no artist that was claiming like the title of that song, at least on Amazon Prime. It was one of the worst end credit songs I've ever heard. It was so bad. Go listen to the end credits again. And I had to listen to I wanted to make sure like I got the whole thing experienced because it was like it felt and I'm pretty sure it was probably some sort of like, unlicensed song that they were able to get for cheap, and it was wildly bad.
They spent all their money on weird cuts and editing rotoscopes. Get some free song.
Get Chris Berman in there.
On the Booby Miles thing, it kind of reminds me really quick my best performances and who I wouldn't recap. I'd get rid of Diddy, easy one. Second one, best performances. Chadwick Boseman, obviously, but I will say one critique. I didn't love his accent. I was not convinced about the accent.
Fair.
I was like, look, I love you. You're great. Accent's not selling me. However,
heavy.
I love, my favorite type of acting is unspoken acting, and he freaking crushed it. Like when he was just pondering his future in the car with the nephews in the back, and then when he gets drafted and he just stares at the TV confused, I was like,
ripping my heart out.
I was like, beautiful. Chef's kiss. He didn't have to say a word.
No.
It was great. So that's what I was like, you're saying he brought so much energy. I was like, I want more that. Like Kevin Costner is this. Like he's a line through the whole movie. Yeah. He's very
like
energy
one
around
spike,
him.
which is when he gets pissed off.
Exactly. Like he might raise an eyebrow to show frustration, but like that's it. But man, Chadwick had a way of just like saying everything without saying anything in those moments. It was really cool.
Which then then we became aware of Chadwick Boseman very quickly, and it was very apparent how good of an actor he was, and that's why he got the roles he got. Gone too soon, man. I'm still sad all the time thinking about how he's not in any, he doesn't get to be in anything. We don't get to see him in anything anymore.
Yes.
That's a great point, by the way, about Costner. Right before we get into our last final rating here, the movies that work well with him, he is surrounded by someone who is like Tim Robbins in Bull Durham, fucking redhead dude and the brother-in-law in Field of Dreams. Like he needs neurotic people around him.
Yes,
he's a good straight man.
He's a great straight man that's trying to keep everyone calm, except for that when he did Waterworld, and then he was supposed to be the crazy guy, and that one didn't work.
Yeah.
By the way, if you haven't seen that movie in a while,
I'll have to watch
holy shit. Dennis Hopper's nuts. Anyway, maybe we'll do that for this. All right, final rating. What do you guys got for what are you gonna give it out of 10 on rewatch?
I think personally, if you would have asked me back in like 2014 when I watched it, my freshman year of college, I would have told you like a 4. I think now I can give it a solid like 5.5.
5.5.
So it definitely improved in my heart.
That's what I did too. 5.5, 5.5.
You guys did both do 5.5.
We did.
Nice.
We did.
I feel like I'd never heard. Like I said, I hadn't even heard of this movie. Somehow it went under my radar until we said we're going to do it for the pod. I want to give it like a 6.5. Just I don't know. I kind of enjoyed it. I enjoyed different aspects of it. I thought certain things were funny and whatever and gripping. But it doesn't hit the 7 rewatch threshold for me. I don't really think I'm going to rewatch it. Yeah. My wife will probably make me because she loves Jennifer Garner more than anyone in the world. So she makes.
There's a lot of Jennifer Garner out there. I don't think you need to watch this one.
This movie? Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Dude, when I tell her that she was in this, she's like, "What? You didn't watch it with me?" So yeah. 6,
I think
5.
the point being lower for us, a full point lower is probably just because we have that experience of like
that's probably
a little bit more knowing of like what happens in front offices, and just as like there's a little bit more of a needing for suspension of disbelief.
That's true. Yeah, I have zero experience with that, so I'm like, I'm sure it happens exactly like this.
We've like talked extensively with a lot of real life people who are in these positions, and we're like, no, you guys say F word. We're all just F and F. Everybody is all the time. It's just a very like locker roomy. Some people aren't, but like most people are. And baseball's the same way. Like, when we're candid, you can't even understand what we're saying. That's how many swear words we're saying. So, but you can't really put that in a movie either. So, it is what it is. All right. Wow. Well, that was a good one. That was a good episode. Nice beefy long one because we don't do these short.
Sorry, that's my fault.
Good, dude.
Johnny, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for being so prepared. That was incredible.
We should recommend edibles to everyone who watches a movie before we do.
We should. You really should.
Take an edible, and then you take the notes.
Thank you guys so much for having me on. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, of course.
Pleasure having you, dude.
Yeah, pleasure. We got it. Yeah. If we might need to do a part 2 here. Yeah, you want to take us out?
Dude, yeah, absolutely. And I thought we got to do more sports movies because Johnny came with the freaking notes, dude, which was amazing, brother.
We did. I'm in. Let's do it.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching, listening. There's only 2 ways you could consume the content. Thank you for listening to the Making an Action podcast. You can find us wherever podcasts are available. Be sure to leave a comment if you can. Rate us 5 stars if you liked it. If you didn't like it, rate us 5 stars anyway. But leave us a real mean review or something. Let us know what you thought. Thank you so much again to our guest, Johnny Stanton. We look forward to next episode where we are with, we saying it?
Say it.
Diana of the Rose. And we're watching the D&D
movie.
movie.
Watching D&D. Dungeons and
Heck
Dragons. The movie is not
Good
getting a
one.
sequel, even though it's awesome. All right.
It better.
See
I hope it
ya!
does.